What was life like after the acquisition?
I bought a house that was really big, and I eventually moved out of it because I hated having so much space to take care of. It just wasn't me.
Yep.
I took some time off, and we came up with a list of a whole bunch of other ideas eventually that we'd want to do. But that's after I spent those
Well,
years in
hold
the
on a
company.
second. Why?
Yeah.
You already had enough money in your pocket. You were running down on early retirement with 4 years locked in on your own honor system. Why
Yeah.
do you then turn around and say, you know what? Let's go for double or nothing, or let's double down, or let's try again?
I didn't think it was double or nothing.
You didn't put it up. You didn't put the house
I was
up.
30, right?
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Sitting on a beach is cool, but like I enjoy it, right? It's mental exercise, it's creation, creativity, right? I mean, it's what you do. You're an entrepreneur. You start companies, right? So as soon as I left there, right, we started another company called iContact. We went through a bunch of ideas and landed on that one. And, that was my failure experience as an entrepreneur, which is very valuable. But, it's what you do. You build companies and you try things. If you lose, you're not losing that much. It wasn't like a double or nothing bet, right? It was put some money into it, try to create something meaningful, and it'll work or it won't. That's okay.
Well, I want to go through it a little slower so that people can realize that failure or graceful failure or how your losses can teach you as much as your wins. And I think it's important to walk it through because people can look at you and see there's a great success, but you had your own graceful failure. So tell us about eye contact. Why did you settle on that idea? What was it supposed to be?
Sure. So some of you have heard of iContact.com, and you're saying to yourselves, that doesn't sound like a failure. That's a company I've heard of. That's a different company. It was originally called IntelliContact. It was called iContact.com after they bought the domain name from me after my miserably failed startup of the same name. So don't hold it against them. Ryan and his crew have built an awesome company and recently had a great exit. It's an email newsletter company. But this company was a mobile social networking company, not unlike what you would see today in Foursquare or maybe Looped or Brightkite or one of those companies that does mobile social networking, but just too early. So we just hit the market at the wrong time. And about a year in, realized that was what was going on. It was very hard to get distribution. It was not the right time. The app stores weren't there. The phones weren't really open. And we called it a day after about a year, and we lost a bunch of our own money and a little bit of other people's money. And figuring out when to quit at the right time matters a lot too, right? Rather than just going forever on something that's not going to work.
I don't think people realize that prior to app stores, the deck of the mobile phone was controlled by the mobile phone companies. And so you had to get the consumers to want it, but before you could even do that, you had to bribe the phone companies to allow you to even access those lists. And that
Right on, yeah, totally. I mean, we learned that lesson the hard way, and even when we got distribution on the deck of the phone, right, meaning your icon was placed there, I mean, they would want to charge you 80% of your revenue.
absolutely.
Right? And so it was tough to make money. In fact, the most money we ever made was we sold the domain name to iContact.com.
Do you attribute that more to the double bank shot nature that you had to both get the phone companies and the customers, or the timing or the infrastructure not being there? Because now you could have it up and running, notwithstanding Apple's process, within a week, within 2 weeks. You could have access to it. Doesn't mean you're going to sell any.
Yeah.
But would that have
So-
changed it?
I think it would have had some impact. Timing was, we were the poster children for, we're way too early with this business, right? GPS was supposed to take off, mobile was supposed to take off, the open phone environment was supposed to take off, and what we were met with was gatekeepers and a lack of ability to get distribution, which, oh, by the way, will kill you on the internet, both of those things. Beware of building your app on top of Facebook is the modern day equivalent.
Yeah.
They control you. They can shut you down. They can charge you what they want. Right. That was the feeling back then. When we figured that out and we learned those valuable lessons that cost us a lot of our own money to learn, those were useful later on in my ability to find other opportunities or screen other things, both as an entrepreneur or as an investor.